G'day, Spartan Millie here, and welcome back to our McLaren Motorsport Manager F1 2021 Manager Mod Save Season 2. Welcome back to the series. Now, I know I said I was going to go daily with this series, but we had a bit of a break yesterday just because the views in the videos were a bit down. So I thought we'd have a day off, let everyone catch up, watch any of the series they haven't seen. But now we're back today with a double upload, so right back on the grind. Today we've got the Paul Ricard GP, but just before we get started, I just want to say a big thank you to Joey, Luke Gaming, MK, and Pat for commenting on the last two videos. It means a lot to have you guys interacting with the series. So make sure to leave a comment down below if you want to be featured in the video. Also, give the video a like if you're enjoying the series, and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. That being said, let's jump into it. Okay, so our gearbox build has just completed, so we're going to design a new part straight away here. We've actually dropped on the rear wing, so we dropped down a second behind Mercedes, so we're going to build another rear wing because we want to make sure we stay top in all areas if possible. We're just going to do that component there and build. That will actually be done before the race as well. Now that new gearbox, we're working on the performance of the suspension because that's important around here, but we're going to work on the reliability of that gearbox, and then hopefully we can also work on the performance of it as well. We'll stick to the reliability, get to about 60%, then we'll switch to performance, see how much we can do. But of course, we got that rear wing done in just 4 days. Okay, so designing the next part is the engine. We're going to do another engine here just because we still have a massive gap between our two engines. It's about 70 performance points, which is quite insane. So we're going to try and up it a little bit. Let's just say it right now, this engine is going to be incredible. We already have the best engine on grid, we've improved that, and now we're going to improve it yet again. We're going to just blow the competition away in the engine department, but bring it on. Welcome to qualifying here in France, where we're in the deserts of France, which is always a funny scene, isn't it? We've touched on that in a number of series as we've done here on the channel, but the setups are looking absolutely peak this weekend. Not so much Ricardo's, this is 98%, you know, it's alright. And you know, tie camber can actually get you from that 98% to 100%. So I highly recommend you play around with the tie camber. I usually don't, but I got a comment on my perfect setup video, and as you can see there, 100% balance. So if you don't already, play with your tie camber and your tire pressure if you just need that little bit more, maybe to get to 100%. 98% still pretty good, but yeah. If you haven't already checked that video out, have a look. I usually put it up in the cards in the top right, or it's on the channel as well. But we're going to go ahead and do the first stint here. I think we're looking pretty quick. We were pretty slow to start. We weren't too quick. I think about 3rd and 7th. And then we got the setups right, and now we're laughing. We were 1st and 3rd in Q2 on the harder compound. So maybe we'll send Riccardo out on the softs and see what happens. And we've actually broken his setup a little bit. It's gone down to 96%, just as I was talking about how good the setups were. That's alright, we'll make sure to try and remember to switch back for the race. And yes, Riccardo goes up to 3rd again. So it looks like he's much faster on the soft compound. He jumped from 5th to 3rd, just from a different compound. And Russell's actually running on the softs as well. So interesting. So 1st and 3rd Leclerc splits our boys onto the race. Alright, race day here in Paul Ricard. No rain to worry about because we're in a desert. As you can see there, completely empty. Are we going to have an easy run? Who knows? We'll see. Light-footed, of course. Race trim and light-footed. It's a classic. I believe it was last race where it was, let's say, a pretty easy go at it. But we'll see if we can do that again. Would be nice. So we switch Riccardo back down to a 98%. Tyre choice, obviously, and 100% for Lando. Tyre strategy, driver strategy. We go push and overtake for both drivers. Start the race. Come on, Lando. Let's get a good start over Charles. Charles has a habit of just starting really well. We'll see if he can work on that again. We'll continue doing that. And no, Riccardo gets an even better start, and he'll take 2nd place, meaning Norris is now in danger of being overtaken by his teammate. And Riccardo does. He gets the inside line, overtakes Norris early on here, and now will Norris drop back behind Max Verstappen? Yeah, Max Verstappen will have a go at him. Maybe not get past. Yeah, no, he's through. Okay, so a bad start from Lando, which we've seen many times. Well, not many times, but it's pretty much a 50-50. Lando either gets a good start from pole, where we don't see him again for the whole race, or he drops back down the grid. But we're going to follow on board Riccardo, as Lando is just going to get eaten up by Leclerc next by the looks of it. And we're going to get into the swing of this race a little bit, start looking after these tyres so we can go a bit longer in that first stint and hopefully pull off a nice two-stop. And I didn't realise how cool this track looked. I feel like I've been sleeping on it a little bit. But yeah, this is actually a really nice looking track, isn't it? When you get really up close and personal, it looks quite blurry, the camera. Oh, there we go, focused a little bit. But back to the race action. Norris still down in third. Verstappen's still to pit though, so it won't be too... I mean, he just set a fastest lap. So the former teammate's going to go right neck and neck here between Ricciardo and Verstappen. We're going to look after these tyres a little bit. These seriously, oh never mind, they last 40 laps around here. We'll be fine to go on neutral for sure. But we're going to get into the swing of this race a little bit. I'm hoping Norris can sort of sneak back. Oh, just as I say, hopefully he can take back second place. He's now fighting for third place, which is not ideal. We're going to tell him to push a little bit on the tyres. We've got to put in a bit more of a fight here, Norris. Come on, man. Norris is in the fastest car on the grid by a long mile. I don't know how he's being stuck in traffic, quite frankly. But he is anyway, so he won't be too cut about it. And we're going to switch back to Ricciardo because I'm going to start managing his tyres a little bit as they're starting to overheat. Well, they're in the optimal range, but they could start overheating. And get this race going a little bit here. We're going to put him back on neutral, get him back in the optimal range. And yeah, that's the start of this Grand Prix. Norris has just taken back second place without them pitting because obviously their tyres have gone off a cliff or something. Because yeah, and he's also got quite the gap. So we've taken back the 1-2. And Ricciardo was leading by 5 seconds. So now it's going to be very interesting to see what happens between our two boys. See if they have a little bit of a battle later on in the race. But Leclerc, who's lost a lot of pace, still not coming into the pit. So he will continue to lose time on our boy Lando. So very strange decision there. I wouldn't say out of ordinary from the Ferrari pit strategist. They make some bizarre decisions in real life and in the game. But yeah, that's the start of this Grand Prix. Okay, so just pitted Daniel. There's about 0.7 seconds between them. Now we're going to pit Lando in, and it's going to be all guns blazing for the last 20 laps or so. So we're going to give him complete... Oh, and there's a massive mistake on the tyres, and that is very unlucky for Ricciardo. A 5.5 second pit stop, and it's just... That could be the neutralizer between the two drivers, to be honest. Obviously, I didn't mean for that to happen. He was on safe pit strategy, so it's just disappointing, I suppose. But it's a shame if we're robbed of the chance to see a bit of a race for our boys. No, there's a mistake on the front right of Lando too, and our pit crew are having an absolute mare. And Ricciardo will come out in front after both of them having a 5-second pit stop due to mistakes. They're all over the back of each other. I think the pit crew need a bit of switching out or something because we cannot have that. Luckily, we're so far ahead, but it's going to be quite the little battle here, I think, between our lads. Let's chuck it in 12 times and watch on as our boys clash at the very top of Motorsport here, first and second in the Paul Ricard GP in the deserts. It doesn't get much bigger than this. Yuki Tsunoda crashes out, quite a fiery crash, lots of smoke. You see all the gravel ripped up from the surface as well. That looks pretty cool, I'm not going to lie, with all the smoke and the gravel. Alright, so with 3 laps to go here, we're just going to give them complete materials here. Resources rather, just to attack as much as they want. We're going to ride on board with Norris, put it in 12 times, and see if we can get a battle here. They've both got complete control of their tyres. Hopefully there's no accidents. They don't have as much petrol maybe as I would have liked to give them. But we're going to go back. I mean, no, let's just keep it on attack. Why not? They won't get any bonuses from it. But hopefully they don't have an accident, that's all. But with 2 laps to go, 2-second gap, I don't think we're going to get any sort of a last hurrah. So I'm going to switch back to Ricciardo to watch him cross the line. But yeah, look, Ricciardo defended well. Norris was pretty close for about the last 20 laps. And then just all the blue flags, Norris slowly lost ground as Ricciardo was better at passing the lapped cars or something. But the Australian, with his rocketing start, took control of the race from then on and defended it. Ultimately, Norris's poor start costed him today's race win, but that's alright. When you got a teammate there to pick up the pieces and take it home, it's not the worst thing in the world from a team point of view anyway. But Ricciardo coming across the last couple of corners, I believe, yep, and onto the final straight. 2 seconds to his teammate. He's going to smash it home to win the French GP. And a double decent race, I think I'd change that to say. Lando, another 1-2 finish, and we're getting quite comfortable in this championship lead. As you can see, they have 326 to 180. Only lost one race. Only haven't won one race this season, which was a couple episodes ago. But yeah, Williams and Alfa Romeo are still without a point, but we have 326 of them. There it is, yet again, gold trophy. I'm on the podium with my hat. Daniel Ricciardo top step. Charles Leclerc is the guest this time. Lando on the second step. And I think that's like the 4th time in 5 races that Lando hasn't been on the top step. So he's not as dominant as maybe the first couple performances would have indicated, so that makes things a little bit more interesting for sure. So interview with Sky Sports with old Natalie, so let's accept this. And no way, we're not signing Alexander Albon, unfortunately for him. But thanks for your question, Natalie. But that will be it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. There'll be another one out in a couple of hours if you're watching this live. 7 wins out of 8 races. That is not bad at all if you ask me, but quite the convincing season. So make sure to leave a like if you're enjoying the series so far. Consider subscribing if you're not already, and I will see you in a couple hours for the next one. Thank you for watching.